So we just finished reading the first 3 volumes of Gigant.
Let's talk about it.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Blue Tempest here, and welcome back to another episode of the 3-volume rule. If you don't know about the 3-volume rule, it's basically a saying in the manga community where if you aren't hooked on a series by the end of volume 3, then you need to drop it. So for today's episode, I am joined by my good friend Gero, which you guys might actually know from my first manga shopping with the squad video. If you haven't watched that video, definitely check it out because we actually picked up volumes of Gigant in that video.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun to make. But actually, we got a comment on that video requesting a 3-volume rule for Gigant. So because of that comment, we're actually making this video. So if you guys want me to do a 3-volume rule on a series, let me know in the comments.
If you guys have a suggestion of what you think that the next 3-volume rule should be, just leave a comment, and then whatever the top comment is going to be, most likely he'll do it.
For sure. So yeah, to get into our thoughts on Gigant, actually, we read the first 3 volumes and we haven't even discussed really our thoughts on it or anything
until this moment right now.
So this is gonna be exciting. Just some background information. This series is written by Hiroya Oku and is actually his currently ongoing series.
Yeah.
He is best known for creating Gantz, which is an amazing series.
Favorite series of all time.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he actually is the one that put me onto Gantz, and I'm gonna be hopefully reading some more volumes of that this month. But yeah, Gigant is his currently ongoing series. I'm pretty sure it's actually ending soon. So I think this is a good time to get into the series if you haven't already. But yeah, this is definitely a very mature series.
Yeah.
Not for anyone under the age of 18. So if you aren't of age, then definitely might have to hold off on this series.
Huge disclaimer, they pretty much all come shrink wrapped, which should tell you something. So
yeah, so lots of fan service, lots of nudity, lots of just insanity.
Yes,
so,
a lot of insanity. So
getting into our thoughts on Gigant, yeah, I just wanted to ask you, what was your initial impressions, maybe just like of the first volume?
So, you know, I was really hyped going into this series just because, like you said, Gantz is my favorite series, and Hiroya is definitely my favorite mangaka of all time. I didn't really know what to expect, like, kind of knew a little bit of the premise of it, and I didn't know exactly how it would play out.
Yeah.
And reading the first volume was definitely really off the wall, but I feel like the pacing got progressively better.
Yeah,
throughout the story.
I definitely agree. It has a pretty good pace to it, which I do like. And just to kind of tell you guys what this story is actually about, it's honestly really all over the place. It's really hard to explain. But basically, it's about this high school kid who wants to become like a movie director, and he gets in a situation where he meets his favorite adult actress. Her name is Papiko. I don't know.
Papiko, yeah.
Yeah, that's her actress name.
Yeah, actress name.
But yeah, he gets in a situation where they meet, and some weird stuff starts happening with this like weird like old guy.
Yes.
That like I don't even know how to explain. You just gotta read it. But basically, there's this video that Papiko receives, and it's like 20 something hours long or some crazy
super long, like 36 hours, like 3 days or something.
And the video is like really weird. There's a lot of like weird stuff going on in the video, and she shows it to the high schooler whose name is Ray, and he kind of notices that this seems super realistic. A lot of crazy things start happening in that video. And then there's this whole other thing going on.
Yeah, there's like multiple things happening. Like
so when she receives this video, she also receives this like thing on her wrist that she can't take off. And when she messes with it, she finds out that she can actually change the size of her body. So she turns really giant, which is pretty much why
hence the title.
And yeah, she can basically control the size of her body. She can turn like super huge. as far as like skyscraper levels. She could be like medium, like
a female version of Ant-Man, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually it. That's a good comparison. Yeah. So yeah, but then there's this whole other thing going on where there's this like online forum type of deal. And a lot of people basically vote on something to happen, and whatever they vote on,
it happens.
It actually happens in real life, and it's like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of the first things is like, oh, a famous actor runs naked across the city or something. Yeah, and it actually happens.
The other one was when it was raining feces.
Oh yeah,
in Japan.
Yeah. It's just so
it's like
random.
A more messed up version of Reddit, honestly.
Yeah, and it's like these people like really don't care what's going on in the world. They're just voting for the craziest thing.
Yeah, sick twisted.
So yeah, I thought that aspect of the story was really interesting. I'm wondering like how this even gets explained in future volumes, because obviously this is the first 3 and we don't really know what's gonna happen from here on out.
Still a lot of questions.
But there's this whole other aspect of the story where it's kind of like a relationship going on with Papiko and Ray.
Yeah.
And that I did want to talk about that, because that's one of the things that I thought was a little weird. Like I get it though.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand. I understand what the writer is going for, because it's this whole thing of like, you know, a high schooler's fantasy and, you know, it actually happening in this, you know, manga.
Literally, yeah.
But, you know, and the writer, I think you see things in the story where it's like, oh yeah, like they know that this is wrong.
Oh, for sure.
That
they acknowledge
it's wrong, because obviously she is you know, he's underage and she's like 24.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a weird aspect of the story.
Yeah.
Definitely. But honestly, I feel like I could look past it just because this whole story is really interesting and you really want to know what happens. And obviously, it's not really trying to promote that, because
not at all.
It is said that it's like they know that this is bad.
Yeah.
You know, and the author knows that this is bad. So, really interesting choice, but I kind of see where he was going with that. But yeah, just like, what else do you want to say about the story and just everything going on in this manga?
I guess my initial thoughts and what I got out of it, you know, of course there were some, you know, conflicting thoughts of like the relationship, obviously, but I think that it kind of made sense that it was written from the perspective of Ray. You know, realistically speaking, I feel like, you know, kid younger at that age would react just like how he did.
Yeah.
In most scenarios, you know?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So I think there was like a sense of realism, but I think the part that I really enjoy of the story the most is that generally, like, at least me personally, I haven't read a story like this where it's like, in a majority of stories, like the guy's like this suit, you know, he's kind of like the one carrying, he's like the I guess like the bigger person, protective, but the way that Papiko is portrayed is actually like, she's the dominant one. Yeah. Like throughout everything. Like,
yeah, she's,
you know,
she's kind of the star of the show here.
She is, and I actually like, she's like one of my favorite characters because you know, of course there's things here and there, but I feel like, you know, she's portrayed like, you know, if he's acting emotional, she's like the one to be like, come on, you need to before I'm losing respect for you, you know?
There's this one scene.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
He's crying and
But I think that perspective of like, you know, her being like the dominant one and being like, especially like even, you know, seeing a story where it's like, okay, she's like literally the one that's protecting him a majority of the time. Yeah. We usually get a female that's the damsel in distress. I think that it's interesting seeing that literally it's the opposite. Yeah. It's like the opposite of King Kong, you know? It's like, you know, like literally like the main character is a strong, you know, individual, and she's the one that's protecting the, you know, helpless boy in most of the scenarios. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, I think this is just a very fun series.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think it's trying to be super deep or anything. Yeah. It's just a really crazy off the wall story. And like, let's get into some of the action too, because
There's a lot
Yeah,
of
starting in volume 2, the story really ramps up.
picks up out of nowhere.
Literally out of
yeah.
nowhere. Because a lot of the scenarios with that online forum thing
Yeah.
start like ramping up and they start getting crazier. And
Yeah.
so the story picks up once this forum votes for like a god of
An angel of death.
yeah, like
pretty
a god
much,
of destruction or something to come and like half the population.
Pretty
or,
much,
like,
yeah,
something
just like,
that, or like
eliminate half of the population, like bring it down to 1 million people.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so yeah, this really weird, disturbing looking
Dude, it was creepy. It was
yeah, like just giant
yeah.
guy
Yeah.
creature comes from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And just starts destroying everything. And then there's
Pretty
like the crazy thing is that there's like this other scenario in
Yeah.
like New York, because the story takes place in Tokyo.
Yes. Yes.
And there's this like other scenario going on where it's like the same thing and
Dude.
it's also really weird.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, if you're a fan of like pop culture references, like this manga is like gonna be for you.
Yeah,
There's a
so
lot of
much
there's
pop
so
culture.
much references to so many things that
Yeah.
it's funny. Like
It's hilarious.
even like the Ray's backpack is like modeled after Star Wars.
Yeah,
And like the
yeah.
newer films and like the part you were talking about, like it's literally like a creature from like Ghostbusters. Or,
Yeah.
like, a knockoff
It's
version
like a
of
knockoff
it.
of it.
So yeah, there's definitely a lot of pop culture references with like I feel like keeps it refreshing. Like it's like
Yeah.
I know where
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
coming from.
Yeah,
so.
so there's definitely a lot of references, which is it's pretty cool. You can see the personality of Hiroya
Yeah.
Oku throughout this.
Definitely,
manga, for sure.
it shines. Like even references to his old work. Like
Yeah, there's
Gantz,
a lot
like,
of
yeah,
she's like wearing a Gantz hat at some point in the
that's
story.
so funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of references for sure. But yeah, like getting into that giant
Yeah.
god of death or whatever. Yeah, he just starts destroying the city.
Yeah.
It just gets really crazy. And the thing is, Ray, the main character,
Mhm.
he's kind of caught in the middle of this because it's happening like right where he's at.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know what to do. And Papiko actually comes to the rescue. She turns giant
Yeah.
and starts fighting this
Demolishing this guy.
giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, just this giant god of destruction. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
She is literally naked throughout the entire fighting sequence
Yeah.
because obviously when she grows huge,
Yeah.
her clothes.
Which I mean, it's
So,
realistic.
it is
You know,
realistic.
like
It's
there's
realistic.
no clothes that are gonna.
But
be
that's
on
kind
top.
of where the fan service comes in.
a lot of it.
So just something to note there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the action in that section was pretty well done. I did enjoy that part, and the ending of like the third volume kind of leaves it, kind of leaves you wanting more and like
Yeah.
seeing what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
Especially since with all of this happening, obviously like the government, after the aftermath of all of this destruction going on in the city and everything, and they see her as a giant,
Yeah.
so she can't hide from that
Literally. Yeah.
at this point. They basically arrest her,
Yeah.
and so
For questioning.
so we don't know what's gonna happen from this point on.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, and there's a lot more that goes into it. Trust me, we didn't spoil the whole story, so
Yeah.
it's definitely. I mean, personally, I'm interested to see where it goes. I
Yeah.
think this is a manga that's not for everybody.
Definitely.
But if you are a fan of Gantz, if you just are a fan of just really ridiculous action, and if you don't mind a lot of fan service, then
Yeah.
honestly, this is a really fun manga. There are, like I said, there are some things to note to that.
Yeah.
I was a little mixed on personally. I don't know about you, but that's just how I felt. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough for me to completely drop this series or anything. I am really interested to see where the story's gonna go. And like I said, Hiroya Oku has his own style of manga, so
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend checking out Gantz before
Yeah.
checking out Gigant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you have any other closing thoughts or anything to say.
Yeah, no, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I like, for me, it's just coming into the story, I kind of had an idea of what I was getting myself into. You know, if anybody else out there read Gantz or is a fan of Hiroya, it's vintage Hiroya. Like the style of writing, the art is immaculate. Like you can tell that they're like the different layer and components of the details that go into some of the pages are like insane. Like I had to go back to a few pages and I'm like, wow, that building in the back, like it's just so detailed. But like, you know, like his writing and, you know, there definitely is a lot of fan service. But if you've read Hiroya, you should know that's just kind of like a given. You know, for, you know, like his writing, you know, that's just like a given. It's definitely not for everybody, but if you do like a little bit stuff with more mature content and you want something that's refreshing and a little bit off the walls, like this is the series for you.
Yeah, there's nothing else like it, I don't think.
Yeah, I haven't read or watched anything like it. I'm excited to read the next one.
Yeah, for sure. So that pretty much does it for our... So that pretty...
Just don't laugh, man. Don't laugh.
So that pretty much does it for our 3-volume rule on Gigant.
Yeah.
I can't with this guy. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, then definitely leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment down below if you have read Gigant. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, as well as let me know what other 3-volume rule video I should do next. Also, leave a comment if you want to see Gero in more videos.
Or if you don't want to see me in more videos too.
That'd be kind of sad. But yeah, all of my social media links will be down in the description for TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. I'll also add Gero's social media down there as well. And if you are a fan of my content, then please consider hitting the notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a brand new video. And with that, that pretty much does it for this video. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
See you guys.